Hello, and welcome back to World Religions. And chapter two, we're going to take a look at today the indigenous religions of North America. And this particular chapter is going to explore religions of North America. And although we explore these religions together in a single chapter, it's important to note that there's much diversity in indigenous religions of North America. Today, in fact, there are over 700 tribal nations that are recognized in the United States alone. So in the past, there were more. The human landscape of North America has changed dramatically with the arrival of Europeans, colonization, and conquest. Native American religions are highly complex belief systems. They have sophisticated cosmologies and um, firm ethical principles. Furthermore, they have changed and continue to change in response to interaction with other belief systems, other cultures, and technological advances. So in this chapter, we want to understand the diversity and the similarities of North American indigenous religious traditions. And we want to understand the teachings of native North American religions and become familiar with different practices of Native American religions, learn about the impact of European colonialism on indigenous religions of North America, and just basically understand religious change in recent centuries. So let's get started with the teachings of Native American religions. Most Native American religions do not have a specific creed or statement of belief. Rather, ethical teachings are revealed in mythical narratives, and shared and enacted through just basic religious practice. There are many creation stories in the myths of Native North America. Some myths focus on the creation of the earth and the origins of humans in general. Others simply account for the origins of one particular people. Some myths tell of people coming to the surface of the earth from uh, deep underground, and others tell of human beings being fashioned from corn by creator gods. Some native religions, like those of the Great Plains tribes, hold a belief in a supreme being, sometimes known as the Great Spirit. Many Native American religions also share a belief in a supreme force or a supreme power. The Navajo of southwestern United States, um, they teach of a holy wind, which is a spiritual force that inhabits every element of creation. The creation narratives of indigenous North American religions differ significantly from each other in their accounts of the origin of humans. You have some myths um, that describe how humans were created, and others focus on how they came to live in a particular geographic locale. Native American mythologies contain teachings about how to live properly in the world. From myths, people learn to live respectfully with others in society. They learn how to make a living off the land and to understand the meaning of life. Many indigenous North American religions emphasize the interrelationship of all things. This often extends to humanity's relationship with animals. As a result of this interconnectedness, many Native American religions emphasize the importance of maintaining balance among all things. So the focus on balance extends to the physical landscape. According to many Native American religious traditions, humans are often thought to live in a reciprocal relationship with the land. The history of Native American religions, just like the large-scale world religions, Native American religions and religious traditions have developed historically and have both resisted and accommodated cultural changes. The religious landscape of North America was diverse and varied. However, the expansion of European imperialism from the 16th through the probably latest early 20th century ravaged and arguably ravaged and radically influenced indigenous religious traditions here in the Americas. Throughout North America, the effects of colonialism on indigenous peoples were, again, arguably disastrous. Indigenous populations were devastated by disease and warfare, forced to move far away from their ancestral homelands, and sometimes enslaved or indentured to work for the colonists. However, indigenous religious traditions were never entirely eradicated, even when native peoples identified as Christians. When the Spanish conquistadors arrived in Mesoamerica, the indigenous religion of the Mayan people was banned. Written versions of the holy text were burned, and the Maya were often forcibly converted to Roman Catholicism. Although many Mayan people today identify as Catholic, elements of the indigenous religion does remain. In the United States today, many Native Americans identify as Catholics, Protestants, non-denominational Christians. However, as with the Maya, this does not necessarily mean that the beliefs and practices of the new religions are no longer relevant. Furthermore, Christianity sometimes understood as an indigenous American religion. It is sometimes understood that way by Native Christians. So many resistance movements developed in Native communities in response to European American encroachment throughout North America. And such movements often had an overtly religious dimension, and indigenous religious leaders were frequently at the forefront of resistance movements. Many movements had influence far and wide and can therefore be understood as Pan-American, Pan-Indian religious movements. One such movement was the Ghost Dance, and the Native American Church, too, can be considered another resistance movement. So, despite the history of antagonism toward Native religions in North America, many non-Native Americans are interested in learning about Native religious traditions. Today, people in the United States and elsewhere are attracted to what they view as the nature-centered focus of Native religions. Some Native Americans appreciate this. They appreciate the growing interest of non-natives in indigenous religions. However, non-native interest in Native religious practices has also been criticized by Native thinkers Critics argue that the selective adoption of certain practices, like peyote use, removes the activity from the cultural and historical context in which it developed. Native American religions as a way of life. Followers of Native American religions often do not make stark distinctions between what is religious and what is secular. Myths install everyday life with a sacred quality. Therefore, many actions have a religious dimension. In Native American religions, healing the sick is often part of religious practice. Healers may use religious knowledge to cure physical and mental illnesses. The Navajo, for instance, they use healing ceremonies as an art form known as sand painting. And there's importance of medicine bundles in Navajo and other native traditions. Gender and identity have a place in North American traditions. You have the two-spirit people, those whose gender is not exclusively male or female, and have prominent roles in many native religions. There are significant rites of passage, like the Quinalda, which marks the tradition to adulthood among the Navajo young women. And women have also been important healers as well. One well-known 20th century spirit healer was Mabel McKay. She lived from 1907 to 1993, a Pomo woman of Northern California. And when she was young, Mabel was called to be a link between her people and her spirit world. And the spirit guides told her that she would develop a special gift of healing. So, like other religions around the world, native traditions use rituals to recognize important changes in a person's social status. Such rituals are known as rites of passage. Often the rites of passage mark the transition from childhood to adulthood. Many native cultures have elaborate rites, making this tradition for young women and men. The Navajo puberty rite for girls is known as the Quinalda, a rite of passage common to many North American religions is the vision quest. And the vision quest is an attempt by an individual to communicate with the spirit world. It's also especially well known among the peoples of the Great Plains and the Great Lakes region, like the Sioux and the Ojibwe. So rites of passage are rituals. They're rituals to seek to renew the sacred balance of all things. Such rites are seasonal, often because they're designed to correspond with the cycle of planting and harvesting or moving herd animals for grazing. They also aim to enhance natural processes like rainfall or the growth of the crops. Among the Pueblo peoples, like the Hopi and the Zuni, and the Zuni and Kachina dances are a type of renewal rite. The rites of purification are used to ritually purify and cleanse the body. In North American religions from Mexico up to Alaska, sweat lodge ceremonies are used as rites of purification as well. So does it for chapter 2, the chapter 2 mini lecture. Again, as we're getting used to a rhythm of the course, I just want to remind you, do not forget to look at the reading assignment in the week 1 module under chapter 2, spotlight on things to know. And keep in mind some of these concepts as we start to near the end of the week. And we have our discussion question, and be sure to look at this discussion question rubric, as well as keep in mind important points for the forthcoming quiz. So until next time, bye-bye.